Civil-military relations are the key because historically Pakistan's army was the source of the country's problems. And so I think there is a clear recognition now that unless one deals with that structural problem of the Pakistani military dominance of the state, none of the things that we are currently working with Pakistan are going to last. And so how does one deal with the issue? I think the first thing is to emphasize the primacy of civilian authority. And we do that both in word and in deed. In word, by simply restating our position that no matter what the vicissitudes of democracy may be, we don't see an alternative to democracy. I think that's really the first point that needs to be made very clear. The second thing is indeed, Hussein was right that the critical element is going to be dealing with the military through the civilian regime, because that reduces their incentives to seek separate deals with the US. Making the civilian authority, in a sense, partners in everything that we are doing with the military. And in institutional terms, helping the civilians build institutions that gradually will lead to stronger control of the military. And there are two elements that I would flag here. First is creating a National Security Council, which I think is long overdue. And the second is helping the state to actually reform the intelligence agencies, and particularly the oversight mechanisms that control intelligence operations. I think there has been a change in the attitude of Pakistani elites as well as the middle classes. Now, historically, most people were ready to put a premium on stability as opposed to democracy. I think they have now realized after 3 or 4 bouts of military rule that the stability is always transient and ephemeral, and that even though you get a certain modicum of short-term stability, the long-term corrosion that authoritarian rule brings really has lasting effects. And so I'm hopeful, not confident, but I'm hopeful that this new bout represents a certain resilience and a determination to stay the course. Now, it is really unfortunate that in the West, there are already voices which are saying within 3 months that democracy in Pakistan is not working and it's time to kind of remake new deals with the military leadership. I think that would be a very unfortunate turn of events if we went in that direction. There is a growing feeling in the US that after 8 years of fighting the war against the Taliban, we don't have enduring successes. And given the impatience of American democracy, the pressures to kind of get quick solutions are going to be extreme. Now, we have a civilian government in Pakistan for the first time, but at least so far, it does not seem to have communicated to an international audience that it is competent enough with respect to the way it's managing the war. And that's really unfortunate, because I think strategically they understand the problem better than General Musharraf did. They understand that the key is going to be separating the insurgents and the terrorists from their tribal bases of support. So you have to drive a wedge between the tribal supporters and the terrorists themselves. They understand that. But thus far, I don't think they have demonstrated an ability to implement strategies that drive that wedge. And the danger is going to be that the United States is going to get restless, especially if there are terror attacks in the next several months. The pressures will be either to push Pakistan to do things that it's incapable or unwilling to do, or to respond through unilateral US military operations, which, whether they are successful or not, will certainly risk inflaming Pakistani public opinion.